Have you ever considered hiring a manager for your YouTube channel or to help you get brand deals? Then you're really going to want to listen to this story from YouTuber Cassanda Bankson, who on my podcast, the YouTube Power Hour podcast, shared a very horrifying story and experience that she had with a manager. My hope is by sharing this story with you, it will give you some insight in regards to what to look for and maybe some warning signs when deciding on whether or not you're gonna hire a manager. Well, hello, my name is Erika Vieira. I am a YouTube strategist and coach, having helped nearly 500 women behind the scenes grow on YouTube. And on this channel, I interview well-known female content creators such as Cassandra, where we together pull back the curtain to reveal what it's really like to be successful on YouTube. So if that sounds like your jam, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of the incredible interviews and commentary I have coming your way. Well, hello, YouTube Power Hour Squad.
In 2014, I had this amazing DermaBlend opportunity, but I also had a lot of other incoming opportunities. I didn't know how to manage my schedule, my education, all these things. So I got a manager. And this seemed like an awesome opportunity. But again, this was me being too trusting or vulnerable and needing someone to control me in a way. I didn't fact check this manager. I didn't check for sources. I didn't check for references. This was, a 60-year-old woman who seemed to know what she was doing. She had great hair. She seemed well connected. And I blindly trusted her. Mm-hmm. And although we did some great things together, she also pushed me into some decisions that were not okay. She also pushed me into some places that I wasn't comfortable in. And, she was getting a commission plus monthly retainer, mm-hmm. which isn't even legal. Mm-hmm. But she was, getting a large paycheck, and she cared more about her financial stability than she did my long-term growth and success. So here I am, at this point, maybe 21, 22, trying to navigate the world, learning to build my confidence, trying to build, a beauty brand that is based on morals, values, and transparency. Mm-hmm. And I'm being guided by someone who I'm trusting, but blindly. Who has their own intentions, regarding my career in mind. And that was a big mistake because I should have done a little bit more digging and make sure that there was like value and morals and values that were in alignment. And to anyone else who's looking at managers, to anyone else who's looking at, working with agents, anything, the most foundational and important thing you can do is make sure that there is core value alignment. Do you and this person believe the same thing? Do you have the same long-term goals? Again, do they understand and respect that? Or are they going to do what my ex-manager did and try to get you to promote a steakhouse? It seems obvious, but when you're in, it's so easy to get wrapped up in. Yeah. But to have a manager who says, hey, look at this steakhouse is going to cut you a fat check. Can you promote this? Or chapstick. Like, I don't hate chapstick, but I didn't love it. Mm-hmm. I did a sponsored video about chapstick. They aren't cruelty-free, but I was pressured into doing this, right? And at the end of the day, I take responsibility. Mm-hmm. I was the one who said those words. I posted the video, but to have that guidance and to not know better and to not align myself with people who got it from the get-go, I put a damper on my career because I was hanging out at like 600,000 subscribers and I lost a good 50 to 100,000 because people they saw through the inauthenticity,
you
right?
Were being authentic.
In a hotel room in New York. I was filming for acne.com. I was the face of acne.com. I was aligned with Galderma. My trajectory is to go into dermatology, and that's what I'm still working on. Okay. But at this time, I was working with an acne company, so aligned, and I was expressing that I was feeling pressured. I wasn't comfortable with some of the talking points. I wanted to speak to the experts before I said some of these things on camera. Yeah. And the steakhouse sponsorship was like in the works, and it was the steakhouse sponsorship plus my nervousness for this big day. Mm-hmm. And then I was screamed at and sworn at by this manager. Oh, geez. And it brought me back to the emotional abuse that I had gone through a couple of years earlier. And thank God for therapy, because I was like, nope, this is my boundary. I'm leaving. I left and I closed those doors and I was like, bye. And that's when I started, when I did that, it was me standing up for myself. It felt so good. You see, that's where alignment comes in too. The producer who I was working with, she was like, you're not aligned with her. She's here for your money. She's not here for you. Mm-hmm. Some of my friends or some of the PR assistants were like, yo, check this out. And that was like a turning point in me saying, no, I'm going to stand up for what I believe in and speak about what I believe in. Another tip for all talent, anybody, if you're searching for managers, for assistants, make sure that there's core value alignment. And then secondly, make sure that they aren't controlling your finances. This manager, this is pretty normal in talent, but if you're doing a brand deal, they will take all of the funds and they will pay you out your portion after they take their commission. It's a way to manage things. Problem was that when I cut ties with her, we had a large check coming in from this acne company, went straight to her, never got my piece. Then as I started looking into it deeper, I realized that not only was she taking a large percent of commission, I was paying her like a monthly retainer, like a monthly allowance. And whether or not she worked, she got that allowance. She was making more money than I was. She had me sign this power of attorney. And she told me, oh, it'll let me sign your signature on contracts so I don't have to go back to you. I was like, okay, convenient, right? Dumbass. Power of attorney allows people to make life or death decisions.
I was just going to say, that's what you give to, like, if you're on your dying bed, you give it to your spouse or somebody, power of attorney. That's a big, big deal.
It's a big deal. And I was dumb enough to believe her, gave that to her. And, after we cut ties, not only did she run with the money, but I found my credit line being used. I found other things. Her husband was charged for fraud. They moved houses. I tried to sue with the little money that I had left. And the lawyer even said, we did a background check on her. She doesn't even have a lot of money. It's either all cash or she's not reporting it. Even if you sue, what are you going to get out of it? And I was like...
Oh my God. Were you able to, I don't know how,
myself.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. Were you able to like retract that power of attorney somehow or make it, not?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank goodness, yes. It was also like, I'm in California, she was in New York, New Jersey, so it was different laws.
Okay.
It was very confusing, but like for talent, this, being on YouTube and social media especially, it's kind of like the Wild West. It's pretty much, kind of brand new. And there are a lot of people out there to take advantage of you. I'm an idealist, I'm an optimist, but I want talent to be protected. And what are we? We are creators, we are innovators, we are inspirers. We don't necessarily understand the contracts, or we don't understand, the finances of a business, and that can feel overwhelming. But please find someone that you trust, background check, make sure there's alignment on values, and have like a second person who can step in and just look at things, because they'll spot red flags before you do, if you really trust someone blindly.
How did she come into your life? Did she reach out to you initially?
Yes. And that was the other problem, is that I should have known better. I should have asked for references. It was a friend of a friend who knew her. And then she reached out to me. We had one sit down dinner and it was like, oh, okay. Like, this is the only person who landed in my lap. And it's like, is that how you date people?
Yeah.
Like, that's not logical, right?
Yeah.
But all of my dating experiences have been me being chased or harassed to the point that I gave in or, didn't have really a choice. And that was the exact same pattern repeating. And I realized how deeply my emotional scars were kind of playing out into my business life. And then again, therapy not only helped me stand up for myself personally, but I was able to share that experience online and then stand up to managers or bad business people or brands. And now, dude, if I have a bad client, I will fire that client. I'll be like, no. And I'm not afraid to stand up for myself anymore. And it's amazing, how those inner workings of our mind can play out so publicly when it comes to our actions in real life.
And how long were you with that manager before you severed ties with her?
That was about maybe 3 years, 4 years.
Wow.
That was until probably 2000, maybe 3 years. So until about 2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that and you learned something. Comment below what your thoughts are on Cassandra's story. It's definitely something that, as YouTube creators and people like Cassandra said, that maybe you're very creative, but you just aren't aware of the whole business side. I believe that the more these stories are told, the less and less people can get away with doing what her manager did with her, and the less and less creators like yourself could fall into one of these traps. So if you enjoy the video, like it really helps the channel, and I'll see you in the next interview.